It was a dark and stormy night in western Sinnoh. The wind howled as tree branches rattled against windows of an old and abandoned mansion. A lone trainer found herself secluded in this eerie and rundown place. In the back of the house, the sound of static flickered distantly. A television left running for years that seemed to fade in and out at random. As the trainer approached the television, in the inconsistent static, it seemed as though there was a face, smiling at her, cackling even. She approached the television, as drawn to it as she was put off by it, when suddenly... What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king, welcoming you back to more Let's Play Pokemon Platinum. In the last episode, we took down Team Galactic over at their headquarters in Eterna City. And now that we have access to the bike and cut, we have been doubling back through all of the areas we've been in Sinnoh, checking out a bunch of stuff, but right now we are mainly focused on getting ourselves the fourth member of our team. Rotom is an electric and ghost-type Pokemon that has pretty darn good, well-rounded stats, except for its physical attack, which is pretty pathetic, but that's because it is more of a specially oriented Pokemon. It's fast, it has good special attack, it has pretty darn good defenses. It's a really good Pokemon, but we all know that there is more to Rotom than meets the eye because, well, yes, you can just use it as a ghost and electric type Pokemon. It's even better if you start to use it for its fullest potential, which allows it to change typing, specifically its ghost typing into fire, water, ice, flying, and grass, respectively. The thing is, though, in Pokemon Platinum, if you want access to these things, you need to do a little bit of finagling. And by finagling, I mean nowadays using action replay codes, which we are going to be doing because it really sucks that you are completely locked out of this. But I would highly recommend getting an action replay for your DS anyway, because that's just honestly the way to go. You can get the most out of your games as it is these days, and they're really not all that expensive to get your hands on. But we are going to be using it just to obtain the item that's going to allow us to actually use Rotom the way it's supposed to be used. And I cannot believe we caught it on its first go. And then the Premier Ball, no less. I'm glad I caught it in something unique this time. And there we go. Rotom Zeta is added to the Pokedex. Let's take a look. Now, as far as the parameters under which you can catch Rotom, you can only do so between the hours of 8 p.m. and 4 a.m. Now, I'm going to name this little guy Geist, not Geist. Geist, because, well, that's what it is. It's a poltergeist, so it makes a lot of sense. And we are going to be taking him with us. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually want to go back to Eterna City. Now, I have with me the action replay code that's going to be necessary to get the item. This is not like some grand cheat where it's like, oh, you can unlock absolutely everything there is to do with this. You know, no, you just get a key. All right, and the key is what you're going to need to be able to actually use the appliances that Rotom is going to use to turn into its different form. But there is only one form that I care about for the purposes of this Let's Play and for the purposes of my team. So Rotom, I know you like being things. I know you like being different machinery and all that sort of stuff. So we are going to pick one out for you, and you are going to be that for the entirety of the game. So let's heal our whole team up really quickly. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in this code, and I'm actually going to post the code on screen for you to see. So hang tight really quickly. All right, now there is the code on screen. You're just going to want to put that in your action replay. And then what you want to do is while you're playing the game, hit L and R at the same time, go on into the Pokemart, and waiting right there should be a guy with a green hat. Good evening, you must be Dawn. I've received a gift for you. Here you go. And we have received ourselves a secret key. We look forward to your next visit. Now, we're going to take this secret key and we're going to go right back to the Eterna HQ, which this is the main reason I wanted to do this now instead of later, because I still wanted to be around Eterna for all of this to happen. On the left side of the lobby, there is actually a secret door that you can only get into if you have access to this secret key. So we're going to go back here and then use the secret key in the corner. It's the entrance to a secret room. Let's head on inside. And in here, you're going to see a whole bunch of appliances. This is where you have the 5 different forms of Rotom. So this one right here gives you Heat Rotom, thus turning Rotom into a fire type. Fan Rotom, which gives it a flying type. This is Frost Rotom, which gives it an ice type, Wash Rotom, giving it a water type, and Mow Rotom, which gives it a grass type. Now, generally, for the purposes of competitiveness, Heat Fan and Wash Rotom, I think, are the absolute best, but you really can't go wrong with any of these. All of them have the exact same different types of stats. They all get a boost to their special attack as well as their defenses. It actually makes Rotom significantly more tanky, but the speed, HP, and physical attack all remain the same as base Rotom form. Now, for the purposes of type coverage across my team and what I will be using in this playthrough, Fan Rotom just doesn't make sense because I already have Drifloon. Heat Rotom doesn't make sense because I already have Chimchar. Wash Rotom, well, we'll get to that later. And Mow Rotom doesn't make sense because I already have Badoo. So that only leaves one more option. It's a refrigerator. It has an odd-shaped motor on it. Oh, Rotom appears as if it wants to go into the motor. Allow it to enter the motor? Yes. Geist entered the motor and is trying to learn Blizzard. Let's delete a move and make room for it. Okay, so it's got Confuse Ray, Thundershock, Uproar, and Double Team. I am actually going to keep Uproar and Confuse Ray. Well, Double Team might be the better one to get rid of, but I think I'll get rid of Double Team. And there we go. Move Double Team would be forgotten. Is that okay? Yes. And there we go. Now, it is going to have the option to learn this move every single time it changes form. So there is a specific one depending on which form you choose, and then it'll ask to learn that move, and then it'll forget it, obviously, if you switch it to another form. So to get a grass-type special move, a water, a flying, a fire, you get the idea. That's kind of the way that Rotom works. Ah, imagine finding you here. You must be eager to fill your Pokedex to be searching even here. What am I doing? I visit a professor I know in Eterna every so often. He tells me intriguing rumors of rare Pokemon sightings and such. A Pokemon that slips into electric appliances, you say? That is somewhat off from what I've heard about it. This is what I've heard. Long ago, there was a Pokemon that merged with a toy robot. Should that Pokemon be recognized as a new species or not? Debates over the issue were about to start when they were rendered moot. The very topic of discussion, the Pokemon-infused robot, disappeared. Anyway, this Rotom, what an interesting Pokemon. So, you say it enters an appliance and essentially merges with the device. In the process, it may also learn new moves. In a way, I suppose it could be thought of as a mechanical Pokemon. Though it is utterly unique, it is undeniably a form of Pokemon. Fine, so be it. No matter how old one gets, there will always be new Pokemon discoveries. Take care, Dawn. And there we go. We have gotten ourselves our fourth team member, Geist, the Frost Rotom. And yes, he is going to be staying in this form for the entirety of this playthrough. I will not be making that change whatsoever. I need an ice type. I'm also happy to have an electric type. It's kind of a win-win in all situations. So there we go. Some people might say probably a little bit cheap to be getting such a strong Pokemon early on in the game. And you know what? I totally concede that. That's fine. I am going to not be crutching on this Rotom as much as I possibly can. I will do everything in my power to make this as fair as possible, but obviously that's going to be up to you guys to decide, up to you to discern. I just wanted to have something really unique for my team that I haven't really used before and was going to make this playthrough stand out a little bit more. And this is, I think, by far the most unique of any of what my team members will be. So from here on out, it's going to be nothing but more generic Pokemon added to the team. The last two are not anything ridiculously special, but I still think that they are a little bit more niche. But all right, it is now super early in the morning. I am going to take a little bit of a rest, and I will meet you guys back for the rest of this episode here once the sun comes up. All right, that was a nice, good, long rest. So I left my egg in the PC because, like I said, we're not going to really be doing anything with that in this playthrough. I'll hatch it eventually just for the sake of continuity. But yeah, I don't want to be holding on to that any longer. And plus, we're actually going to be getting our next team member pretty soon as well. After that, we're then going to have a gigantic break. But yeah, we're going kind of top-heavy in this playthrough when it comes to gathering all of my team members, which I'm okay with just because of how strong everybody's going to be. But for right now, it is going to set us back just a little bit. So quick information on Geist. Geist has a quirky nature, which I am totally fine with. Completely neutral nature, no bonuses, no regression, nothing like that. Same exact nature as Bucky, actually, which is funny. And then it has the ability Levitate, so it gives full immunity to all ground-type moves, completely negating its only weakness from its electric typing. Of course, it is still weak to fire and to rock, but not anything else, I do believe. So, we are going to be now finally heading down towards Cycling Road, so let's do that. The only thing I do want to point out is that I neglected to check out there was one other building in here I didn't go into, and I think, is it this one right here? No, not Underground Man's house. Which house is it? I could have sworn there was a house I missed in here somewhere. Maybe it was this one? But it was just like a little shop. It wasn't like anything crazy. I did want to point this out really quickly. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm wrong. I could have sworn the herb shop was in this town somewhere, but maybe someone's out here to correct me. I don't know. What's over... Wait, hold on a second. What is over this way? Route 211. Oh, I don't want to go that way. Not yet. Okay, yeah, I could have sworn there was an herb shop here in Eterna City that I never went to, but maybe I'm wrong. I think I might be actually second-guessing myself. Someone can probably be like, no, you forgot it. It's not a huge deal if we miss the herb shop anyway. It's not like they ever really have anything of important. I mean, yeah, if you want to get yourself some revival herbs, go ahead, but I never use those because they reduce the happiness of my Pokemon, even if they are free max revives. All right, welcome to Cycling Road, everybody. And actually, I want to make sure that I am on controlled mode as opposed to the speedy one. We're going to be getting ourselves into some fights here. Let's do this thing. So I actually forget what Pokemon the cyclists opt to use the most. Yeah, I think it's mostly electric types, which I guess I could actually go with Badoo for that reason. I don't know. This might be a really good place to actually do that and then put give Gyoja a little bit of a break for a while. But let's knock this Pikachu out first things first. Does it have static? Yes, it does. Of course it does. All right, we'll definitely swap you out now, but it should be a decent amount of experience for you. Some more for Helena. And there we go. Okay, let me open up my menu here really quickly. And let's do a quick swap. You know, I think I might actually take the experience share off. Well, no. I don't know. I'm really torn on whether or not I want the experience share or I want the Soothe Bell. I think I'm going to go with the Soothe Bell because what I'm going to do is as soon as Helena gets a level up here, I'm going to also use a rare candy on her. So let's do that. Like as soon as she does. Because rare candies also provide an ample bump to happiness on top of the level up. Of course, right when I do that, the flying type comes out. Why would that not be the case? Yeah. Well, I guess this could be an opportunity for us to go with Geist here really quickly and see what he's made of. I suppose, I know Rotom is technically genderless, but yeah. He's just a little, he's just a little guy, you know? It's one of those situations. He's just a little guy, just a little gremlin. So that's why I, default to that immediately in my head. Not because I actually see him as male, but just because I see him as a little gremlin, you know what I mean? Because that's what he is. He's a freaking weirdo little creature, and it's wonderful, and I love him for it. All right. So there is that one. And now we're getting close. There's also a whole path below us, too, that we're going to want to take care of. And I see a hiker down there, which that's like, ooh, rubbing my hands together because there's going to be rock types involved. Yes. Ponyta, and now it's a fire type. Okay, so these cyclists really have no rhyme or reason to what they actually use. I guess that sort of makes sense. Well, I don't really have anything except for Rock Tomb that's good against fire type, so I think I'll switch on over to Gyoja for this. All right, and what are you going to use? Flame Wheel. Yeah, that shouldn't do too much damage, thankfully. Although, we got a crit in there, so that's mainly why. Okay, now is the time to do a Paralyze Heal, which I can't believe I'm actually running low on these already. Thought these were going to last me a lot longer. I mean, granted, you go through a Grass-type gym, you expect to use quite a few of them, but still. Oh no, not Ember. Good thing Fire types can't be burned. All right, Rock Tomb. You know, and wasn't it silly that they didn't apply that for the longest time with paralysis on electric types? Like, they could still be paralyzed for a super long time, and then they eventually remedied that, but it took forever. I don't think it was until, Gen 8, if I'm not mistaken. It might have even been Gen 9. I can't even remember. It just took them a while to finally freaking do it. There we go. Mach Punch. Some good experience for both. Gyoja hits level 25. Is this going to be a new move? Still no. Wow, I am shocked. Okay. Well, there's another one. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Way to stop me in my tracks. That was, perfectly timed. Could not have been better. Okay, what do you have? Oh, you have 3 this time. A Starly? Okay, you're going to probably throw all flying types. You know, I liked it better when y'all had Pikachus and electric types. Now, all of a sudden, I'm regretting my decision here. All right, well, the good news is Helena's just going to get a tiny XP bump from this thing with the shared experience, which will work out exactly as I want it to. But we'll have to obviously see what the rest are. Oh, Rock Tomb was bound to miss eventually. There it goes. All right, get out of here immediately, please. And then I can give my rare candy to Helena. Yeah, 102. Perfect. Perfect small amount of experience points. All right, let's, we'll stick with you for this, just because you're the most well-equipped to handle fighting types. Well, okay, no, you're not. Geist is, but I'm going to be using Geist a little bit more later on. It'll catch up, don't you worry. For right now, I'm giving more priority to the weaker members of my team, because yes, technically Geist is like far and away the strongest member of my team right now, just based purely on its base stats. It'll normalize out more later on in the game, but I did want to give it that type coverage, so needed to kind of get the appliance thing done immediately, especially since I didn't want to like come all the way back to Eterna. Thought that would have been like really redundant to do that, because if I would have done it later in the playthrough, everyone would have been like, well, why didn't you just get it done while you were there? I don't know, man. Don't ask me these questions. All right, rare candy. Rare candy. There you are. Let's use that on Helena. Is that enough? Not quite. My gosh, dude. I have no idea where her happiness stat is at, but man, she's got to be pushing it. Super, super close. The bike you got there is the type that can change gears. You got to love that. Sure, I'll give you a battle. All right, this will probably be the last fight of the episode, and then we will continue through the rest of the cycling road in the next one. I'm like disappointed. I'm just disappointed by how many freaking flying types they're throwing at me all of a sudden. It hurts my feelings, man. I was like super expecting like a wide variety here, and all of a sudden, nope, it's nothing but these lame-ass birds. I guess that's okay, but wow, that was a lot of damage. Okay, well then, I guess I'll go ahead and use a super potion, since we're not going to be leaving this route anytime soon anyway. There we go. 58, not bad. Wing attack, that's going to hurt actually a fair bit. Why do you even have that? Rock Tomb, oh my gosh, please. It's like you knew. It's like you knew that the next move was going to be a one-shot, so you had to just get a little bit more in. Any sane-minded person would have just used wing attack again. But whatever. How would you even know I had Rock Tomb? Did you watch my other fight? That doesn't even make sense. Okay, Staravia. This will be even more experience, thank goodness. Although, it does have Intimidate, which might actually prevent Rock Tomb from one-shotting here. And that quick attack's going to hurt a lot more, too. Did lower its speed a little bit. But let's see... Oh, nope, still one-shot. It's because we got the crit. That's why. Makes sense. And down you go. Very funny that my best Pokemon for taking down flying types, aside from my electric type, is also completely weak to them because it's a fighting type. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for this episode of Let's Play Pokemon Platinum. Thank you all so very much for watching. In the next episode, we're going to continue through Route 206 and exploring the surrounding area. And I don't know, depending on how well things go, we might actually already add the 5th member of our team. Who's to know? Who's to say? I'm not the one to say because I have no idea how much we're going to get done in that episode. But thank you all so very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.